Okay, this is number 2 segment of my God testimony. This is a good one here. We as human beings on this planet, we pop out as a kid, and all we know is what our parents, our friends, our culture tell us, right? We grow up and we're like, oh, okay, oh, look, well, it looks like I'm supposed to go to school. Looks like I'm supposed to wear these shoes because they're cool, or I'm supposed to tuck in my jeans, like this, and do this little tuck thing because that's what everybody else does. And oh, I'm supposed to go make money. Oh, I got to go to school. I got to go to college. I got to get a degree. I got to get a bachelor's. I got to get a master's in order to make money because that's what everybody does. That's what the government tells us to do, or they want us to do this, and that's all we know, right? And so we go about our lives and we work, and we put money away, we save it, we get old, and then we die. And that's kind of what we do. We have kids, we take care of them, the kids move out, we have a little bit of a break, and then our parents get old, and we go take care of them, and then they die, and then now we're kind of like, then we have a little bit of more play, and then we get old, and then somebody's got to take care of us. So that's how it goes, and then we're done. And it's 80 years, 90 years, 70, and then we're done. Our life's over, and it's just like it's a nanosecond compared to like all this earth here. You got trees, 200-year-old trees out there. We live 80 years is nothing in Earth time sense. So what I'm going to talk about now is kind of how God came into my life again to show me a path. And I know everybody hears that, God has a path. Everybody's different. But we don't know. We don't pick up on things. But again, we get kind of suckered into this, like, oh, got to make money, got to get rich, got to buy this, got to have a car, got to have a big house, and blah, 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 blah. I was there, and I was working. So when COVID happened, COVID's a blessing for me. And I know for some it's not. There's always something good out of something bad. And I just let that sink in, but there is. I mean, there were good things that came out of my father dying, as an example. But there's always something good. There's always something good in pretty much anything and everything. But what I wanted to say was that I was on this path of, I'm an airline pilot, still am, and I had retired from the Air Force and moved to Colorado with my 2 kids, and they were going to school. It was in Cresty Butte, and my dream was to live on an airport, have a hangar house and an airplane, and fly to work and just fly around for fun, doing some loops and turning on the smoke and doing all that kind of stuff, flying formation with buddies and stuff. And that's just what I wanted to do because just, right? That's what everybody does. That's what the culture tells us to do. And that was my goal. So I work and making money. I bought a lot on a private runway, and I was going to build this hangar house. I'd been planning it for 4 years. A buddy of mine I used to fly F-16s with, he was an architect, and we were working, and he was all fired up. And like you said, we worked on this thing for 4 years to make it perfect and to just absolutely unbelievable, amazing house. Solar, it had a climbing wall, it had a movie theater, blah blah blah. It had a hot tub, workshop, snowmobiles, motorcycles, airplane hangar, a bar. It was dope, and that was my dream. And then COVID happened, and all of a sudden I realized that, life is almost stopped now due to COVID. Like there's nobody flying anymore. We have to wear masks, and like, what is happening here, right? So the COVID thing's going on. I'm trying to build a house up to this point, and going through all the process with the HOA and the county, trying to get permits and stuff. And this thing's not straight. There we go. Okay. And so I also had in order to save money, I had got a van, and it was my crash pad. So I built out a little van. I didn't put a whole lot of time or effort into it, not a whole lot of money into it, but I had it at the airport, and I'd stay in there and just save money. so I didn't have to get hotels before going to work. And so anyway, that was sign number one that I didn't know, because I'm so busy. I got to make money, got to get rich. We miss these things, right, in life. So I had got the van, and I was like, oh dude, I'll just get a van, $1,000 van, build it out. I got a carpet in there and a bed and stuff, and I'll just stay at at the airport and go to work, save money. I was saving like $600 a month, something to put in the bank for the house and all. And so that was really God. I call them God's signs, these things that pop out that we're supposed to recognize that, hey, that's a sign. I need to pay attention to this and try to figure out, what does it mean, right? It's kind of like a clue, but so that was the first thing, was living in the van. And then so I was it had been I don't know, 3 years or something like that since I'd started, and I was thinking, it'd be cool if I had something a little bit bigger, because that'd be nice, I could build out something a little bit bigger. And I remember I was on a trip one time with the captain, and the provisioning trucks, right, that come up to the airplane, they raise up, I was like, I used to always go out and talk to the dudes that refill the ice and the Cokes and stuff like that, and all the snacks. And I was like, I just kind of, BSing with them. Hey, what's going on, man? Blah, blah, blah. How you doing today? I was like, yeah, you ever think about building one of these out for a deer stand, And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, dude, wouldn't it be cool if you had bought one of these things? You could build it out, or dude, you can even make a house out of it. It goes up and down. You have a good view. You go to Talladega, Indy 500, it'd be sick. And so anyway, so I was talking to the captain on my trip and about it, and he's like, yeah, that'd be cool, man. Yeah, that'd be cool if you could buy one of those. Yeah, that'd be sweet. Anyway, a couple months go by, and again, still trying to get this house to work, and I couldn't. I kept having these roadblocks to try to build my house. I'm like, dude, are you serious? Like, I bought a lot on the runway, and the HOA doesn't want me to build a hangar house. Are you kidding me? It just didn't make any sense, right? It's like, buying land on a lake, and they go, oh, you can't have a dock. You're like, what? Anyway, so about everything kind of all happened at once, and that's why this is so. This really came to my attention that this is all a God thing that just happened. All this stuff happened at once. So the COVID thing's going on. I'm having issues with my house, and so I'm about to get laid off for work. We were worried about getting laid off of work, and then all of a sudden they said, hey, who wants to take time off of work? And I was like, oh, yeah, I'll take time off of work. So initially it was 2 months, which turned into 4 months, and when that happened, I was like, and it was partial pay. They gave us like 50% of our pay, so we didn't have to go to work. And I was like, dude, I need a project, And so I was like, I was starting to try to find a box truck. I found a Fuso up in, I don't know, it was in Michigan or somewhere, and called the guy. I was going to go up there. And then all of a sudden, this is when the COVID thing started getting worse and worse, and like the DMV shut down. All these places started shutting down, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, the whole world, we're going to shut down the whole world, I guess. I mean, what is happening here? And so I got a text message, random, a couple months after I flew with that captain, and it was from him. And he goes, hey man, guess what? He goes, you're in luck. He goes, there is an auction tomorrow in Seattle. Well, it's online, but these trucks are in Seattle. And he goes, man, I want to see this truck in a magazine one day, because I told him like everything I was going to do to it. And sure enough, I'm like, oh my gosh. So I called a couple buddies, and they're like, dude, you got to do it, man. You're a pilot for Southwest, and you're going to buy a Southwest Airlines Provo truck and build out a house and live in it. Sweet. It's perfect. And so anyway, I got on there. I won it for $3,300. I went to pick it up, drove it back, and I'm like, dude, I was set, and I wanted to start building it out. And so I was so happy. I was like, dude, you got to be kidding me. I just won this truck for $3,000, and I don't have to go to work, and I can build it. I've got time to work on it every day. So I showed up at the house, lived in an apartment complex, and everybody's like, where are you going to build this thing? I'm like, oh, in my apartment. They're like, oh, great, your neighbor's going to love you. And my neighbors came out, and they're like, what is this? oh my God. And I was like, yeah, dude, I'm going to build it out to a tiny house, man. It's going to be sick. It's going to be awesome. It goes up and down, you know, and we were crushing beer cans underneath it. And I was telling them, you know, yeah, I'm going to have a fireplace, shower, outdoor shower. I'm going to have a deck with my grill out there, heated floors, you know, all this stuff, right? And they're like, oh, yeah, cool, dude. So, anyway, so yeah, I started working on it. And like a week or two later, I had a guy contact me. And he goes, hey, I hear you may be interested in selling your lot. And I was like, yeah, sure, you know. And I was thinking, and I was like, so after he told me that, this is when COVID ramped up even more. And the company called me. They said, hey, you know what? We're trying to get volunteers now to see if they want to take anywhere from 1 year to 5 years off. And I was like, what? Yeah. So I signed up for 5 years and I got approved. So I'm like, dude, I have 5 years off now. And that guy just came up and wants to buy my land. I just got this truck. Everything just was falling in front of me. Right. And about this time I'm going, you know what? This means there's a reason all this stuff's happening. Right. I'm just running into a wall with the house. Right. But all this other stuff is working out, right? My land for sale, I got time off from work. Who gets time off from work for 5 years with pay? Never, ever. I mean, it's a blessing. And then the truck, and then the guy wants to buy my lot with cash. No hassle. He just paid what I asked for it. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding. All God signs, right? These are all God signs. Everything was happening for a reason. So I built this thing out as fast as I could, 7 months. And then I was on my way out, and my neighbors, they're like, dude, we were like laughing because you were going to do all this stuff to your truck, and you did it. Like, you did it in 7 months. We don't know how you did it by yourself out there all day, every night, you know, 5 a.m. to midnight, 1 o'clock at night, you know, drilling. And my neighbor Rich is like, hey, Spanky, dude, it's like 2 a.m., bro. Can you lay off the wall? You know, I was like, oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, dude. Got it all done. And they're like, dude, we can't believe you did this. And I was like, you know what? I said, dudes, I had help. I said, God helped me do this. There's no way that I was able to do this all by myself. I said, on my drive, my energy, my focus, and everything that I did, like, I had help. I just don't think there's a way that I could have done that really by myself. You know what I'm saying? So all these things happen for a reason, you know? And so sold everything and I left, and it was right at the end. My last kid was moving out, going to college. So, and my rent, or my lease was up on the apartment where I was. And so it was actually worked out perfect. Like, everything just worked out, you know? You ever hear like the stars align? And so yeah, that's what happened. But again, I want to go back to where I was talking about you know, when you're born, and, you know, we're supposed to do this, we're supposed to make money, we're supposed to have a house, we're supposed to buy this, and then we die, right? It's kind of like this. I don't know if you guys have heard the what is it called? Where the monkeys, you have the monkeys in the cage, right? There's 4 monkeys in the cage, and so you put bananas in there, and then all the monkeys go to get the bananas, right? And then the owner, he starts spraying the monkeys, right? So eventually they learn that you put the bananas in the cage, you're going to get sprayed, right? So then they take out a monkey, they put in a new monkey, and then so none of the other monkeys go get the bananas, but the new monkey goes, I'm going to go get the bananas. I don't know what those guys are, monkeys. So he goes to get the bananas, and then they all get sprayed. Well, the other monkeys that know they're going to get sprayed get pissed, and so they go, you know, punching on the monkey that, you know, wants to get them sprayed, right? And so you take out one of the older monkeys, you put in a new monkey, right? And then same thing happens, right? They put in the bananas, and none of them go get it, except for now they don't have to. The owner does not spray them anymore, but the other monkeys, they're pissed off because they're like, dude, do not go get the bananas, right? But they don't know why, right? Because you take out the spray part about it, and because those monkeys didn't even see it. So it's like an evolution thing, right? You're changing evolution. yeah, I don't know if that was important to put in here or not, but basically what I'm trying to say is that we don't know why we do what we do. We just do it, right? And we don't know why, right? Because are we getting sprayed or not? Well, we don't know. I mean, because they died or they're gone. And now we just know, well, this is how we've always done it, right? So that's kind of like what happened with me when all this stuff, was going on. And I was just like, you know what am I doing? Okay, I'm gonna work for the rest of my life to build this house. Did I really want to do that? But see, I wasn't able to think because I was always working or busy or doing the kids or, I don't know, going to the bar, having a drink, going to, just doing these things, doing. I'm distracted, right? And I'm not really living my life. And so that's what I learned when I got out on the road and I didn't have anything to do. Well, I say I didn't have anything to do. I mean, I brought all my mountain bike and skis and stuff like that, but I quickly learned that, there's more to life than just working all the time, and I'm not trying to say, everybody should quit their job and have no money. All I'm saying is that we get wrapped up in work and we become slaves, and I don't agree with it. I think it's bad, and I think we are slaves, and I think that you need to step back and take a look at, what do you want to get out of life? Who are you? Why are we here? And those are things that I learned when I got out on the road, and I know for a fact that God did that for me so that I could wake up and realize what kind of world that we live in, and it's not the world that we thought it is, right? We're in this like labor mindset where we've got to work, right? So we're making money for somebody else. Yeah, we're making pennies, but we're making money for somebody else over here, like a lot, and we're giving a lot of away in taxes. So that's kind of what I learned, and I was like, God did this for me so that I could see what's really going on. The other thing I wanted to mention is over the course of time that I was out on the road, I was able to just learn who am I, and to being by, and I had a lot of people going, oh dude, you're going to be bored. You're out there by yourself. That's not healthy. Like, who are you going to talk to? You're going to go crazy, but no, you know what? It was much needed time by myself that I could talk to myself. I could work through problems. I could figure things out. I could MacGyver stuff that went wrong with my truck, or if I ever broke down or I had a leak, in the plumbing that I did, and because I'm not a plumber, and I eventually figured it out. But it's great because you learn these things, and it's just these little things in life, that are awesome. And that's what I really enjoyed about starting this life that I'm doing right now. I don't know where it's going to go. I've been doing it for 3.5 years, but so far it's just been fantastic because I got rid of all my bills. I sold my lot, my land. I don't have any property taxes or any electric bills or trash bills or any of that stuff. It's all gone. It's freedom is what it is, and freedom's a really good thing. But the best thing about it is that it really teaches you about life and who you are. What do you want to do with yourself? How do you want to be known? How do you want people to see you? If you were to I'm gonna say die, but if somebody were to take you away, or you go on a trip somewhere for a long time, and what do they go? Oh, who's this panky guy? How do you want to be known? Oh yeah, he's just kind of he's a con artist kind of guy. He's real bitter, blah. He's all pissed off. He's negative, or is this a nice guy who's like, he wants to help people out? He's positive, has good energy and stuff. But really, those are questions that you need to ask yourself. I asked myself, when I got out on the road, I'm like, how do I want people to see me? When I'm not around anymore. And so that was kind of neat. But what I mean is, with all this that I'm trying to say is that God led me down this path to realize that you don't need money to be happy. It just makes you, I think, more miserable the more money that you have. I really do. And that's what I learned. I learned that you don't need a lot really to be happy. And I started doing stuff every day. A lot of my friends were like, dude, you're going to be so bored out there. What are you going to do for 5 years? Well, let me tell you, I had stuff going on every day. like every day. I mean, I was mountain biking. I went to Moab's the first place I went. So I brought my mountain bike and I was mountain biking every day. I was in shape. I was eating good. I'd go sit out and drink coffee on the deck. I'd go sit on the deck for hours, just hours, like until noon, drinking coffee, chilling, reading a book, watching the sun, listening to the wind, watching the birds fly, the crows, the vultures, saying hi to people. People will come by and, everybody wants to stop and, get a tour, and they're like, oh my God, what is that thing? So just talking to people and, man, like you'd be surprised. Your day goes by really fast and you're like, dude, I got to make lunch now. What am I gonna do for lunch? You know what I mean? And then, I got to do something, I'm going to go mountain biking this afternoon before it gets dark, so next, it's just time goes by, so, but I started doing stuff like I was hiking and, I started writing a book. I was reading, I started painting, I started drawing again. I just was doing all these things that I never had time to do when I was working, and that was so nice to do. I mean, seriously, and getting rid of all your stuff. Like I had this house, it was a full house, I had, workshop tools, blah, 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 blah. I got rid of everything, and I can't tell you how good it feels to get rid of your stuff. It's amazing. It's just, it's liberating, So, the next part of this is, this happened about a year into my journey, my nomad journey, is that, I started parking, I'd park, Tetons is the first place, that this actually happened. And one of my neighbors, I was there for a little bit, met him and we're hanging out around the fire, and I was drinking a beer, and he's like, nah, man, I quit drinking like 9 years ago. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And I'm just, just watching stars and satellites and stuff. I was like, hey, I'm going to go grab another beer. You want one? And he's like, nah, man, remember I told you I don't drink? I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. And then come back to the fire, hanging out again. I'm like, oh, got a beer, get another beer. Hey, you want a beer? Yeah, remember I told you I don't drink. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. And, the next morning I wake up, got a little bit of a headache, getting older. It's just bad on your body, the older you get. And, when I was younger in college, it's no big deal. Wake up and go run a marathon. But so anyway, I woke up kind of feeling like a little embarrassed, I was like, you know what? This is stupid. What am I doing, man? I'm just hanging out, having beers, and I think he's drinking with me, but he's not. He's just drinking water. What was I thinking, right? So fast forward, another month, I'm up in Montana. Same thing. My neighbor's he doesn't drink. Again, 10 years, and same thing happened, right? And I'm going, dude, and at this point in time, I'm going, dude, these are signs. This is a sign from God. He is putting me next to people who don't drink. And I go, you know what? It's time to stop. And I prayed that night. I said, God, help me stop drinking. July 4th of 2021, I quit. And I haven't had a drop since. And it's been the most magical thing I've ever done, in terms of like health. But clarity, I wake up, I feel good. I'm not hungover. I'm not poisoning my body, and I just feel so good. I've got room in my fridge. I got extra money. I feel great. I want to get up and go do stuff. I'm clear-headed. And the other thing is that, my memory, just impeccable memory now. Like I see a number and I just remember it. Somebody's name, I remember their name. When I was going back into training, down at headquarters, for our annual recurrent, we go through, the check ride and stuff, and they're asking questions. I'm like, oh my gosh, I know it. I know all these. I used to have to read the studies questions, for like, I don't know, days and days. And when I quit drinking, I read through them once, and I was good. I was like, I know it. I don't need it. I don't need to do it anymore because I know it. And I also felt like my intuition, I could like feel the vibe of people. I could almost read their minds, And I've heard it's a pineal thing that alcohol calcifies pineal gland. So anyway, yeah, I think it started working, and I'm just like, dude, I walk into a room and I can like see people's energy and I can feel their emotions, their vibrations, and it's powerful. It is very powerful. So if you haven't, if you're interested in doing it, if you want to give me a call or ask me questions about it, please do. But it's pretty remarkable. I'm telling you. I'm not by any means trying to tell people you need to quit drinking. I mean, I drank for many years, and I don't judge. If you want to drink, knock yourself out. It's fine with me. I'm just telling you what it's done for me in my life. So that was another God sign. The other big one that I believe, the whole reason for all of this, this is what I believe, is that God wanted me to realize there's more to life than just doing the norm, right? And I quickly learned that, and this is because I'm clear-headed now, right? He's got me out of the money, he's got me out of the work, he's got me unhitched from the slavery chain, and I'm not drinking. I quit drinking coffee and all this stuff, right? And so I'm just like, and I'm healthy, I'm in shape, I'm running, I'm biking and stuff, and so it allows you to really see what this world is and what's happening right around us. And I'm not going to get into a lot of it because a lot of it's kind of heavy, and it's a little much for some people because it just is, and I'm just going to leave it at that. But it woke me up about what is happening, and I'll just say that there's a lot of evil out in the world today, right? And there is a battle going on right now, good versus evil, right? And I used to hear that when I was younger, but it is definitely going on now, folks. And I know a lot of you out there see it just as clear as I do, without doing those things that I've done. And so, if you could imagine, like, being even more clear-headed, you start seeing stuff, and it is very, very, it's very bad. It's very, very bad. But I wish people could, I hope that people will start to open their eyes a little bit and try to be a little bit open-minded in order to kind of really see what is happening in our world today. And I'll just say that there's a lot of lies going on that we've been lied to. Again, I don't want to get into some of this nitty gritty on this and the details, but yeah, we've been lied to quite a bit, and we're slaves, and we work until we die. I mean, I always asked, hey, how come I can't get my 401k until right before I'm dead? Well, there's a reason for that. It was all it's a master scheme. That was the plan. You're gonna work. You're gonna give us part of your money, and you can put some, but you can't touch it until you're almost dead. And I was like, that just doesn't make any sense. Why? And then I figured it out, and I'm gonna let you guys figure it out. But there's a reason for all of this. But I'm here to tell you though that, and I know I mentioned, and I want to try to clarify this, but all of this that God did for me has allowed me to travel, to see his world, and to enjoy life, because I don't have any overhead. I don't have anything that I have to pay for. I don't have bills. And it's a wonderful thing. And you don't need a whole lot of money to live. When I was living out there, when I first started living in the Snakpak, I was only spending about $500 a month. Okay, now that's not driving every weekend, but when I was parked somewhere for at least a month or two, I wasn't spending any money. I was riding my mountain bike, and I just had, it was just groceries. That's it, and then, and beer, but I mean, like I said, I'm not doing that anymore. So I'm saving money on that, a couple $100 a month, but it's allowed me the freedom to do what I want to do, because when you don't have bills to pay, then you don't necessarily have to work as hard. You don't have to work as much. So that's the key to life, I think, is to try to nail down a financial, right? To figure out, for me, I went in the military for 20 years and retired. And really, that's all I need. That's it. I could have been done it for. I mean, I have, I have kids, but you know, if you don't have kids, then it's even, you don't have that extra money that you have to spend. But if you can figure out a way that you can make ends meet and have enough money to live, I mean, you don't need a Porsche, you don't need all this new stuff. I mean, it's just garbage, it's trash. Your stuff owns you. So really, if you can get by with as little as possible, those are the happiest people, And a lot of the people that I met on the road, I've met so many people that live out on the road, van lifers, people in buses and stuff, and they're so happy. And you know what I mean? They're not working 9 to 5 every day. They're doing either remote stuff or selling stuff on the road or whatever. They're so happy. They're happier than some of my friends that make double what I make. You know what I mean? And they're, and they're just constantly at work. Like I had a buddy one time. I was like, hey, I said, hey man, why don't you meet me up in Montana? Let's play some golf. He's like, oh, some of us have to work. And I was like, well, yeah. I said, you have to work when you have a $2 million house and you have 4 cars and a Harley and a side-by-side. Yeah, you have to go to work. So, I mean, where do you stop, right? And that's the thing. That's the culture. We say the culture, but it's not really a culture, right? There's a few people that own pretty much everything right now. I don't know if you knew that, but there's a few people. It's a pyramid deal, and I'm sure probably some of you have heard about it, but they own everything. And what they do is they brainwash us. They think this is what we have to do in order to be happy. But is it really? No. It is for them. You know why? Because they make money off of us, and we think we're happy, but we're really not. So that's just what you got to figure out is that you don't need money to be happy. Yeah, you need it to live, but I mean, you don't need it in excess, right? It's with moderation, just like anything else. And that's all I'm trying to get. That's the point I'm trying to get across. But again, it has allowed me to do these things, and it is just so nice to be able to come do something like this, to come out here to Patagonia and go hiking, and to not have to worry about anything. Right? And I don't have to worry about my house at home that I'm paying rent for and nobody's even in it. Or the electric bill, or is the water leak? Is the hot water working? Or is the pipes gonna freeze? Or it's just nice. So I don't know. I hope this has done something for you out there. Again, if you got questions, comments, let me know. I'll try to get to them. If I don't, I'm not doing it on purpose. I might just hate you. No, I don't hate you. I'm probably out hiking or something, but I'll get back to you. But again, yeah, what am I going to say? What am I supposed to say right now? I don't know. 28 minutes? Wow, it's a long time. Well, I think I accomplished my... I think I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish here. My testimony about how God's come into my life and changed my life completely. I wish I'd have done this. I wish I'd have done this when I was like 30, 25, 30 years old. God, you feel that sun in the face? God, we need the sun. The sun is so good. The sun heals us. Do you guys know that? Don't wear sunglasses either. They're bad for you. Anyway, I'm signing off. I love you. God bless.